This video is now in session, and today this is going to be the final redistricting video where I can fit 3 states into one video. From the next video on out for redistricting, I will not be able to fit 3 states in. And even trying to fit 3 states into this video is pretty tough. So let's get started before we cannot waste any time. Let's start off with Virginia. Virginia is not going to gain or lose congressional districts. That said, Virginia, I don't have Dave Wasserman's tweet. What? So Virginia has a independent redistricting commission. I think it's a bipartisan commission rather than a nonpartisan commission. So as you can see right here with the green, and any kind of thing where besides Republicans controlling all of 3 parts of the Virginia government is better than that, because in 2010 the Virginia was very gerrymandered for Republicans. As you can see, the 7th district, pretty gerrymandered. It takes the Richmond suburbs and then combines it with the Virginia rural area in this region over here. That said, Abigail Spanberger was able to crack through that and get the 13.7% chance of winning, and she was able to also win in 2020, contrary to many other Democrat freshmen who lost in 2020. So what can Democrats do with this? Since they are in a bipartisan commission, they could try to match the breakdown of the seats to the electorate. So right now, I think they control 6 seats, they control 7 seats, I'd say, while Republicans control, they control 7 seats while Republicans control 4 seats. So what they can do here is they can create this map, but this would give them 6 seats, so that would be a net loss of 1. So what they could do instead is then try to gerrymander it so that it would favor them. So in this kind of map, that would give them 7-4, and it's the same as before, except this time it's all of the Democrats' seats are safe. So this one is safe, this one is safe, and this one is definitely safe. As you can see, it's right here, and it would also retain all the representatives. It wouldn't screw anyone over. So if we go to Ron tweet, if we go over here, this is Dave Wasserman's version of that map. So here, Democrats would have 7-4, which is what they currently have, but it would be much more safe. So I don't know why it's 6-5. I think it's proportionally partisan because of the bipartisan commission. That said, I think it's it could be 7-4, it could be 6-5. I'm gonna say 7-4, mainly because I think Democrats will be able to influence the decisions of the bipartisan committee so that it would go more forward towards them. So that is Virginia. Now let's go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin has 10 electoral votes and 8 congressional districts, and it's one of the only Rust Belt states that is not losing an electoral vote or a congressional district. The others include Iowa as well as Indiana, but only Indiana is like a substantial one. Wisconsin is also substantial, but Iowa isn't. Wisconsin is a perfect example of how Democrats can win in Wisconsin as a whole, but it's very hard for them to win in terms of congressional districts, because a lot of their vote is centered in Milwaukee. And this is ultimately the, I guess, unfair part for Democrats, which is that they are centered in cities, in very compact areas, compared to Republicans, which are more towards rural areas. And Democrats try to take advantage of that by cracking the city so that it helps them. But usually when cracking a city, it overall helps Republicans. Meanwhile, if you crack rural areas, that doesn't really do anything, because the rural areas are so big and everyone's spread out pretty evenly. So cracking rural voters does not help Democrats like urban cracking does for Republicans. That said, this is what a gerrymandered map can do for Democrats. It would give Democrats 5 seats and Republicans 3 seats. That's it. This is definitely not going to happen. Wisconsin is like any other state, I think, where it's like passed by state legislature and with the gubernatorial approval. At least this time, Tony Evers is a Democrat and he is the governor of Wisconsin compared to 2010, where it was a Republican governor. And that at least would give Democrats some say because Republicans control the state Senate and as well as the state House. And as you can see, the margins for Republicans in the state Senate are pretty high, and so is the state House. And because of that, it is again through gerrymandering. What could be done is to match the partisan breakdown of the electorate. Currently, I believe there are 1, 2, 3 seats, while Republicans have 7. So what would happen here is that there would be 51% chance and 57% chance. So they would get 4 seats and Republicans would get 4 seats. So it would be split even. And I think this is more likely to happen than a 3-7 scenario that we currently see because the Republicans don't have a 2/3 majority to overrule Tony Evers' his eventual veto of the Republicans' first idea. As you can see, I don't think that's a veto. So yeah, in the Senate it would be 63% of the votes are Republican. So literally, Republicans only need one more seat, but they don't have an additional seat, and as a result, Tony Evers has a say, and Wisconsin will be 4-4. It will be split, and that's one of the only splits that we've seen throughout this series. The only other ones are New Hampshire and Maine. Okay, there we go. Wisconsin right there. All right, that is Wisconsin. Now, finally, we have the state of Illinois. And Illinois, in my opinion, is going to be the crown jewel of redistricting for Democrats. There are very few places that Democrats are in control of redistricting. As you can see, it's these states, and that's not a lot. I think Illinois and New York are going to be the crown jewels, mainly because they can gain a lot of congressional districts in both of these states. So let's start with Illinois. Let's go to the map. That is Virginia. And then this is Wisconsin. By the way, this is a map that would produce a 6-seat majority for Republicans and then a 2-seat minority for Democrats. And that would come from 4th District and 2nd District. The rest would be all Republicans. Okay, Illinois. This is what the map would look like in Dave Wasserman's view. It could be different though overall. And here we have the current map, which is 10, 5, and then three competitive ones. This one's for Republicans, this one's for Democrats, and this one is for Republicans. So that means 7 and 11. Now Illinois is going to be losing one congressional district because their gain has not been that much. That said, Democrats can use that seat to their advantage, and they can make this kind of map. Or they would have a total of 14 seats, and then Republicans would have 3 seats, and that would be the crown jewel, mainly because of how much they're able to utilize Chicago and that area to their advantage. So this is one map that could be done, and I think it's pretty similar to 538. In that the 13th district gets Champaign and as well as Springfield and the St. Louis area. So basically, this map would remove Rodney Davis and Adam Kinzinger. I believe Adam Kinzinger is from the 16th district, and his will probably go into the 14th, which will, I believe, benefit Democrats. Unless if he's here. If he's here, then he's combined with another Republican, Mary Miller, right there. And then Rodney Davis is right there. This will become a Democratic district. So, 14-3 for Illinois. That's one of the only places where Democrats actually have something to care about or to have to be proud about. They shouldn't be proud of redistricting, nor should Republicans, but that's just ultimately how politics in America works at this moment. So what I'll do is I'm going to change this to 0, and then what I want to do is get this, and then fill this, and get this. Okay, so Democrats would have 14, right? Which means that they would have this seat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is really rough. Okay. I'll just use the 538 map. So this is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be 3 Republican seats, right? 1, 2, 3. Is this what part of Wisconsin? It's part of Wisconsin. Alright, yeah, that's what it would kind of look like. Okay, so we're done with all of these 3 states. I wonder if I can fit another one in, because I'm like 10-minute mark. You know what, let's do it. Let's fit Arizona into this one as well. This will be last minute, and I hope I can fit this in. But Arizona right now, I think it has a bipartisan commission, an independent redistricting commission, so it's pretty, it breaks down the partisanship of the electorate pretty well. So if we were to do this kind of map, it would give 54.6 and then 71. So it would be Republicans would have the majority here. That said, this is most likely not going to happen because the courts can strike down this kind of map because it doesn't include Native Americans into this process. This is how you include Native Americans into this process through the 1st district. Even though it says it's white, it's where is that map? A lot of it is also a Native American. Yeah, right here, the other category. So that's that. I think this map will still continue to stay. Currently Democrats have 5 and Republicans have 4, and also I would think that Republicans would have 5 and Democrats would have 5 in the end, no matter what happened. That said, this is going to be literally ground zero. It's going to be the place where Democrats and Republicans fight the most, in my opinion, besides maybe Texas. Arizona, I think they're going to fight the most because it has the ability to literally change the majority in the House. I'm going to say it's 5-5, and I'm going to give Republicans 1 extra seat, but it is very easy for Republicans to make this into a 6-seat majority against Democrats with their 4 seats. And it's very easy for Democrats to make it their 6-seat majority in comparison to Republicans' 4. Democrats are definitely going to emphasize competitiveness, because it helps them, especially with the Native American region. Meanwhile, Republicans are going to emphasize compactness to make sure that they can waste a lot of Democratic votes in the Phoenix area. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Next video I'm going to do is probably New York. And this video is now adjourned, and I'll see you in the next one.